Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to take a look at the iLunce. HD2 radio. When this radio first came out, it had some spurious emissions and people were worried about it. It was all the rage. People were all Twitter-pated about it. And they told me that the firmware would fix it. So I have the firmware update and I'm going to show you how to do the firmware update. We're going to test for spurious emissions before and after. And I'm also going to show you how to do the frequency unlock on the radio. So let's get this thing over on the bench. All right, let's crack this bad boy open and give it what for. This is going to be interesting, actually. I am going to get out my tiny SA and verify that it does, and then we're going to see if we can do anything about it. And this is a pretty cool 3D printed case that I got off of Etsy that holds all the things and does all the things. Ooh, that doesn't fit. Yuck. That's what I need. I need a cable and a union, a barrel connector for you fancy folks. I like to use 2 words for one thing. So there's the union, which makes it now fit in the radio. Come on, get in there. And then we need a cable. And I'll get this all set up and I'll be right back. I have a video on setting this stuff up on the channel and I will link that at the top for you. Oh, I think that's DMR mode getting in the way. DMR tends to flutter a little bit and the tiny SA might not be able to keep up with it. But so far it is having trouble staying beneath the blue line on any of the harmonics. Let's get it switched into analog mode. Now we are in FM only mode, not DMR mode. Frequency error, no. And now I gotta unlock it because it is not transmitting on 146.525. I get a frequency error, which probably means it is not regionally correct for the US. All right, we will unzoom for this, turn the radio off, hold down menu and number 6 and turn the radio on.
Frequency mode.
And then it asks you for a password, 6, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
and it's telling me 144 to 146. And 146.52 is just outside of that. 144 to 148, 222 to 225, 420 to 450. And then region 3. So we'll have to try this on 220. User defined, IARU 1. I'm going to go with IARU 2, 144 to 148. And that falls within a lot of my band privileges. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one by hitting menu. And then I'm going to hit menu. And then it just reboots on its own. So now let's go to 1, 4, 6, 5, 2, and we can PTT now. And I am in DMR mode on high power. In order to switch out of DMR mode, long press the exit button, which changes it to FM mode. Let's get back to the test. Yeah. It's a lot better than it was on DMR, but it is technically a lot worse. We are still rolling and we're still dropping off harmonics, but we're not dropping them off fast enough. Yep, I think that's as good as it's going to get. We are going to do the firmware upgrade now, and it isn't terribly difficult, but it's not as straightforward and easy as most firmware upgrades are. So I will include links to these websites in the description down below, but this is the website where you get the updated firmware. Make note of whether you have the GPS model or the non-GPS model. If you have GPS options in your menu, or if you have the GPS sticker underneath of the battery, then you've got the GPS model. And if you don't, then you don't. So grab the right one. There already is a video out showing that the 2.07 firmware doesn't fix the harmonics, and I have the GPS model, so I'm going to do the 2.13 upgrade and see if that fixes it. You need to do the USB driver first and make sure that it supports your version of the operating system. If not, you're going to have a lot of trouble later on getting this thing to work. So we're going to do both of those things. And then there is a how to update the firmware page, which is what I'm going to be going through while I do this process. So for me, this is Windows 11, and step 1 is going to be to download the USB driver. It's going to ask me where to save it. I am in my downloads folder, but I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder. I'm going to call this HD2 to name it after the radio, so I know where stuff is. And then I'm going to stick that driver in there. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab the firmware also for the GPS model. It's going to ask me where to save it. I'm going to put it in that same HD2 folder. And now I have these two things. Again, USB driver first, which is this weird QWDZ USB reader. This is a compressed zip folder. I like to extract these first. Sometimes programs work well from being run inside of zip folders, and sometimes they don't. And so I'm going to make sure that I get this thing working the way that I want it to by extracting the files. So right-click on the file name, choose Extract All. It pops up a folder inside of the folder. That's fine. Inside of the folder we're currently in. And now you have one that's got the zippered teeth icon and one that doesn't, and one that says file folder and one that says compressed. So I'm going to go into the one that says file folder, and I'm going to double click on the driver and install it. And this is a case where Retevis didn't pay Microsoft the extortion fee to allow this software to be okay. It's fine. First off, I run all of my ham radio software like this on a dedicated cheap laptop. You can get these things for under $100 now, and I don't have to worry about whether it's going to mess up my daily life or anything. For $100, it's worth the peace of mind to not have that. And I'll leave a link in the description down below to one that we know works well with Windows and ham radio type stuff, because you don't need a lot for ham radio. Maybe you have an old laptop laying around. So I clicked the button there for more info, and I'm going to click Run Anyway. And then it's going to ask me again if I want to run it. And yes, I still want to do the thing that I've already told you I want to do. And now it's asking where to install it. So we say install. The drive is successfully pre-installed in advance. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to exit out of here, and I'm going to go up a level to get out of the zip folder. And then there is the iLunce HD2 firmware. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to say extract all again. And I'm going to do the extract thing, and that creates its own folder with everything in it. And I'm just doing this in this order because I happen to already be in this folder. We're going to go over and plug the radio in next, because I think we're ready to run. I think this might be it directly, not having to actually install anything, which would be pretty smart. All right, so now over here, we did the download USB driver. We've got the USB programming cable. We've got the firmware file. To enter DFU mode, device firmware update mode, press PTT and the side key 1, then rotate the power knob counterclockwise. And this arrow isn't pointing to the right knob. So let's do that, and then let's get it connected up to the computer. It says to do this first before you connect it to the computer, which makes sense. And that is because DFU mode, device firmware update mode, and programming mode are two different things inside of the radio, and if you connect it and then change out from underneath of that connection what the device is on the other end, it'll confuse the computer. So definitely do this before you plug the USB cable into the computer. This radio comes with a programming cable, and it has that weird, I call these a Motorola style connector on it. It has that weird connector on the side, so we're going to go ahead and get that installed on the side. And then it goes in the top and down on the bottom. And then this is a thumb screw, but I've already got my tool out, so I'll use that. And this will affect the waterproofedness if you run without the cover. And this is not rated for waterproof because, you know, it's USB to a computer, and who's got a waterproof USB port? Let's get this thing into DFU mode. You hold down PTT and the top button over here. When you turn the radio on, turning the knob clockwise at the top, you will not see anything on the screen, but you will see the red light. It is not transmitting right now. It's just in firmware update mode. So let's get this plugged into the computer now. Try running it here and we'll see if it's an installer or if it's a runner. More info. Yes, I'd like to run anyway. Oh, must install .NET. Don't have it installed because this is not my daily driver, so let's install it. And that's a Microsoft thing, so we're going to go out to Microsoft's website and get it, and that automatically starts. Sure, I'll put it in the same folder, so we'll go up a level and we will run the software. And this is another installer, so we'll do install. And see how this one's signed by Microsoft and it still asks me anyway if I want to install it? It's like a thing with these people. All right, that is done. Hit close. Go back into the expanded folder, not the compressed folder. Run the application again and let's see how much farther we get. All right, awesome. This is the only COM port I have on this machine because this machine doesn't have any built-in serial ports and I have nothing else connected to it besides this. I am dedicated to this purpose. And so COM6 is going to be the right port. If you have a couple of different things plugged in, you can go into Device Manager and you can plug and unplug until you see the number disappear and then show it up again. Let's hit connect and no error messages on connect. So let's hit get version, and it's telling me HD GPS. So again, this is a third verification that I've got the GPS module. HD2, which is the radio number, PA C7000, and it's version 1.0.0 is what's currently on the radio. So I'm going to hit the update button, and this is taking some time, so I'm going to be really patient. There we go. It's starting to make some noise, and we just wait for the green bar to get to the other side, and we're successful. And now we can just hit the X in the corner and close the program and get back over to the bench and test it out again. All right, that is all done. I'm going to take this programming cable off. All right, let's turn it on.
Frequency mode.
Frequency mode.
Menu.
And now it is version 2.13 instead of version 1.00. All right, excellent. We can go on with the test. I don't know, I think we're done. And I think it's actually a bit worse than it was last time. All right, let's get this thing put away now. All right, firmware has been updated. Problems have not been fixed. Not sure where we go from here, but I did want to make sure I saved you guys some trouble of installing the 2.13 firmware if you have this radio, because why do it if it don't fix the thing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or if it is broken, the fix don't fix it, don't fix it. There will be links for the websites and other information in the description down below. And if you like this tiny SA case, there will be a link for that and the attenuator you need to do the testing down below as well. I'm on a quest. I'm on a journey to get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed, click that button down below the video right here. It is free to subscribe. It'll make you happy. It'll make me happy. All of us will be happy together, going happily down the happy trail. And if you're so moved, there's also a join button down there where you can join up on the channel, or there's a Patreon link in the description if you are one of the Patreon types. Happy to have you either way. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.